as you, the viewer, have requested, and I promised I would do this at the beginning of the year. We put together an updated new series we're calling Basically Speaking. This is D&D for the absolute beginner. I'm going to be putting things into layman's terms, so they're easier to understand and more digestible for new players to the game. At the end of February, we will be unlisting or taking down the basic series that we made at the beginning of last year. I will be posting a link at the end of this video to that playlist. Greetings to everyone out there. My name is Rod, and I am your Dungeon Master. I got started playing D&D back in the summer of 1978. The basic information that I'm going to cover in today's video can be applied to all editions of the game, including other RPGs. Welcome to our introductory episode. On one hand, over here, is my best advice for you outgoing types. On the other hand, over here is for you more shy and reserved types. For those of you who are outgoing, it's simple. Find a game, get started playing. As a Dungeon Master, I enjoy it when new players come to my table. This gives me the opportunity to hone my skills as an instructor or a teacher. On the other hand, over here, I would say my best advice for you reserved and shy types is find a copy of the basic rules or get a hold of a player's handbook and just start reading. Here are examples of what a player's handbook or a starter set looks like. For those of you who are interested, I'll provide a link to the Wizards of the Coast download site where you can get a copy of the 5e basic rules. Now, honestly, this will give you the basic book knowledge that you will need to get through your first session of the game. I'm going to follow a simple outline or syllabus where I take you from absolute beginner to ready to start adventuring player. On today's episode, I will be covering the dice. Now, dice are the deciding factor for most circumstances or incidences in the game. You need them from rolling everything from your 6 basic ability scores to the damage that you do to a foe and everything in between. These polyhedral dice come in 6 different shapes, and most sets will have 7 of them today. Back in the day, you only got 6. These are the 1 4-sided die, 1 6-sided die, 1 8-sided die. You get 2 10-sided dice, 1 12-sided die, and a 20-sided die. Most people that are familiar with the game just replace dice or die, which is simply the letter D. For example, here are the dice and their uses. You would use a 4-sided die, or D4, to calculate your damage for a dagger, throwing darts, or released bullet from a sling that has hit your foe. The D6 is for calculating damage from slashing at an opponent with an axe, firing a short bow, or throwing a trident. The D8 is damage from firing a light crossbow, slashing someone with a longsword, or striking a foe with a warhammer. And the D10. This is a special die. It is used when calculating your damage from a halberd or a pike. Some spell damages are used for this, like the wizard spell Firebolt from 5th edition. It is also used when your Dungeon Master asks you to do a percentage check. You would roll 2d10. Now, this would be the one that has single digits on it, going from 1 to 0, 0 being 10, and the other one, 10, all the way up to 00. Now, the D12 is a die that really isn't used that much, except when you're calculating damage from a great axe or a lance on a horse mount. Now, all of the aforementioned dice are also used when rolling your character's hit points as well. Now, I'll definitely be covering that in another video. Lastly, we have the D20. This die is going to be the one that gets the most mileage out of all the dice in your bag. This die will decide everything from your initiative placement to if you hit a foe with your attack or not. Now, I have a question for you. Tell me down below, what was it that interested you in D&D in the first place? Your answer could be something very simple. Hey, my cool uncle told me about this really great game that came about in the early 1970s that he played when he was a kid. Or a few of my friends asked me to join in their game, and I'm just not sure whether or not I want to do this or not. Hey, if you like what you saw in this video, check out my friends down there, friends of this channel. Great group of guys known as the Tabletop Dungeoneers. They've got YouTube channels, and also, pretty soon we'll be launching a .com. So you can check out our blogs and other things. When they're ready to go, I will definitely be letting you know. Next time, I'll be covering things that you should take into consideration when starting your first player character. Thank you for joining class. Until next time, class dismissed.